All right, let's see what we got here for you today, SMT Nation. Spectrum auction 110. This is going to be the next auction for some mid-band, some massive 5G implications here. All right. So we've got a date. We've got October 5th this year, 2021. We've got some spectrum that is in the 3.45 to 3.55 gigahertz frequency range. We got 100 megahertz total of it. We've got 10 megahertz subblocks. And I think the restriction is for no more than 40 megahertz for any particular entity in terms of how much spectrum they can have in a market. So this particular spectrum auction is going to involve some. It's kind of a dynamic situation. There's 33 CPAs or co-op planning areas, and there's also, I believe, some other restrictions that may involve the DoD, the incumbent of the spectrum. So that's a couple of things to consider there. Anyways, it's going to be very similar to what we saw with C-band. The spectrum frequency is right smack dab below it. You got the CBRS, and then you got the C-band, so it's right there. 42 bidding entrants as of right now. So we've got 42 companies going in. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile are confirmed, as well as Dish. All right, so they're putting their name in the hat. They're going to be trying to get themselves some 5G mid-band frequency spectrum. All right, they also what we saw with CBRS is we saw some cable operators get involved. They're not getting involved in this auction, so that's an interesting tidbit. They did show up for C-band, but they were kind of priced out. It was very expensive. Uh, the C-band auction generated $81 billion. I would not expect this auction to generate nearly as much for a couple of reasons. Number one, the carriers already spent big money on C-band. And number two, there's less spectrum here. C-band had 280 megahertz. This is 100. So I would expect this to generate like a third of what we saw with C-band. So you do the math on that. I don't know. You guys give me your estimates. I was kind of thinking maybe best case scenario, maybe 30 billion or something like that. 25, 30 billion would seem like a good prediction. Some other companies involved here. I think I said Grain Management, Columbia Capital, Frontier. We know those companies. We also know that Resound, Watch Communications, Ensight, VTEL were also mentioned. All right, so they're going to be getting in on the bidding too. All right, so my predictions. We got 100 megahertz to go around. Who's going to get it? I have Verizon going mostly national, and I got them going 30 to 40 megahertz. For AT&T, I have them going mostly national as well, but I got them going 20 megahertz. And then for T-Mobile, I got them going mostly national. I do think they're going to be more like 20 megahertz in some places, 10 megahertz in other places. I think they're going to be a little bit more careful with their spending there. So I think Verizon's going to spend almost 10 billion. I think AT&T will be right there as well, almost 10 billion. I think T-Mobile is going to be more like the 6 to 7 billion range. And then I think Dish is going to come in. I think they're going to go national because they didn't do anything in C-band. I'm going to go with 10 to 20 megahertz national. And I think they're going to spend about 6 or 7 billion as well. All right. So they're going to pick their spots where they get the 10 megahertz or if they get 20. Those are just my predictions. I don't know who else is going to get any. I think the total generated revenue here, I think about $30 billion or so. Remember, no carrier can have more than 40 megahertz in any particular market or PEA. This is former DoD spectrum, so that's implicated here. And then, honestly, this should propagate and behave like C-band. Actually, I'm kind of interested to know if the C-band equipment that's going up on tower sites today is going to be compatible with this frequency, if it's going to be able to broadcast it and transmit it, because then that would mean this would be instant upgrades. All right. And honestly, they do have some time. I don't know when this will be able to go live. I think probably in a year or two or something like that. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll have new technology by then. We'll have new gear, Nokia, Ericsson, Samsung. Who knows who else comes into the fold. But this is big time. This is going to be our next auction. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Give me yours. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Do you have your own predictions? Let me know. Drop me a line in the comment section down below. You all are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Subscribe if it is your first time here on the channel. Turn on the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT.